Welcome to TTherapistSay, where I take comments from you about terrible advice that you've received from therapists and just kind of dissect it and why it's no bueno and why the advice that I would give you would be super bueno. So let's talk about just take some antidepressants. First and foremost, I am not anti-antidepressants, if you follow. They definitely play a role, and for a lot of people have been crucial in managing their symptoms and in having a productive and happy life. But in my opinion, our culture looks for pills as solutions. Just make it go away, just make me feel better, just help me to function, help me not to feel this. And I'm not entirely sure that's always the best idea. In fact, I know it's not, because people can become addicted, or because terrible side effects can kick in, that risk versus reward, right? Taking medicine, taking psychiatric medicine is an important decision, and it should be an informed decision. But we need to be very careful, because psychiatric medicine is not designed to solve your problems. It's designed to help you manage symptoms. And the struggles are still going to be there. So how do they work, antidepressants in particular, and are they the right fit for you? Let's explore. Antidepressants boost the activity of neurotransmitters in the brain, such as serotonin, that exist to pass messages, right, across your brain or from your brain to the rest of your body. And so antidepressants improve the brain activity and can help to elevate your mood. The benefit, of course, is that if you are clinically depressed and so depressed that you cannot function, it is not just a state of mind. Right? I guess technically it is, but it is a chemical issue. And antidepressants can help bring that back into balance and help you to function better. That said, depression isn't just caused by a chemical imbalance, and it also can't just be treated by chemical imbalance, because a lot of depression is circumstantial. I was reading this book called On Grief and Grieving by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and David Kessler, and they talk about how we are in an antidepressive society. And I mean that literally, as in we are against depression, which of course, nobody wants depression. Nobody wants to feel depressed. But depression is a normal response, for example, to losing a loved one. It's a normal response to a really bad breakup or losing a marriage. It's a normal response to empty nest and not having your kids at home anymore. It's a normal response to losing your career. Depression is the natural response of the brain and of the body to these very painful, often devastating experiences. And yet we just want to make it go away, as if our default setting should be to be happy all the time, and if we're not, then we're broken when we need to fix it. But the fact is, feeling depressed is part of grieving, right? It's part of the 5 stages of grief. Feeling depressed is how you know something mattered. It's the price we pay to experience love. It's the price we pay to experience joy, is we feel depressed about things that we lose, or things that change, or things that get left in the past. And so sometimes you don't want an antidepressant. You may think that you're depressed and you need an antidepressant. And what you really need is just to grieve, right? So the question is your depression circumstantial? You probably don't need antidepressants. You need cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Or you need narrative therapy, or dialectical behavioral therapy, or some form of therapy that helps you to work through and process the grief that you're carrying and the pain that you're going through. And the only way to arrive on the other side of it is to pass through it, not to go over it or around it or under it. You can't avoid that process. And if you try and numb it with medication, then you create a dependency. Why? Because the medication treats the symptoms. It doesn't address the root cause. If the root cause of my depression is self-loathing, or childhood trauma, or the loss of someone I care about, then antidepressants are going to take the edge off, but I still haven't worked through what's actually got me down. And if I keep taking the pills expecting it to fix it and it doesn't fix it, then I could become dependent on those because I just need to keep popping them so I can feel better. And the only thing that's actually going to make me feel better long term is addressing it and working through it. So what role do antidepressants have? Again, they exist to alter the chemical composition of your brain, right? If your brain's out of balance because of depression, then the antidepressants are going to increase the activity of the neurotransmitters, which means you're going to think more clearly, which means that could be incredibly effective in helping you, if you're in therapy, to engage with the process and to work through it and to grow and to heal. A lot of you don't know this, but fresh out of graduate school, I worked at a mental health agency, a community mental health agency for people on Medicaid. And so I was a therapist at this clinic. And at that clinic, I had a friend who was a psychiatrist, and I had a lot of respect for him because he saw that there was a place for medicine, but he didn't see medicine as, well, this is the fix, this is the solution. In fact, for most people, unless it was clear that they needed the medicine right away, if they were coming in for a consultation, he would assign them to do therapy and say, I want you to try therapy for 2 weeks. I want you to try therapy for a month. I want you to try therapy for 2 months. And then let's see if you need the medicine or not. And I would work with these people, and we'd work on their nutrition, how much rest they were getting, how much exercise they were getting. We'd work on their outlook, and we'd work on looking for actual solutions, solution-focused therapy, solutions to their problems to empower them. And for a lot of them, they discovered that they didn't need the medicine after all. Some of them definitely did. And here's something I want to stress. If you need the medicine, you haven't failed. You're not weak. We don't say of somebody if they've got asthma that they failed or that they're weak. We don't say of someone who develops arthritis in their knees that they're a failure. Why? Because it's just the body. And the body doesn't always work the way we want it to. But for some reason, when it comes to the brain, we think, well, the brain needs to work perfectly. And if it's not, then you are weak in intelligence and moral character. And that's just bull. It's not true. So by all means, if you and your psychiatrist or your doctor or anyone else who is licensed and able to prescribe medication to you, if you feel that it is what you need, then by all means proceed. But do it with a balance of, I would say, of doing therapy and actually working on the problems, because the medication is just going to deal with the symptoms. But proceed without shame, because you haven't failed anybody, you haven't let anybody down, you're not weak. Antidepressants have a role. They have a role for some people in some cases in their healing. For some people, antidepressants can also be used to treat anxiety, different types of anxiety and phobias. They can help, once again, with taking the edge off the symptoms so you can do the work in counseling. But I always recommend people go to counseling instead of just taking the meds. So this has been Crap Therapists Say. If you've had a negative experience with a therapist who gave you advice that you didn't think was that good, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to respond to it and tell you my 2 cents, get a second opinion, as it were. If you'd like to work with us, we have different levels of support, including our membership site, where we have mental health, emotional health, healing from trauma, and relationship video courses that I've created waiting for you. Go to mendedlight.com to learn more. What crap have you heard from a therapist? Speaking of crap therapists say, do whatever makes you feel good, is what one therapist said. What's my 2 cents on that? You can watch that in this video, so check that out. As always, folks, keep shining. We need your light.